Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to all of you in Network Professionals, the Cisco Networking Academy, and I am your instructor Ahmed Malik. Welcome to all of you in Microsoft Azure Fundamental Lecture number 6. In our previous lecture, we discussed about the Microsoft Azure Virtual Machine family, and discussed in detail about the all available series of Microsoft Azure virtual machines and their usage. In our today's lecture, we are going to discuss about Azure virtual machine skill set, and more importantly, we will discuss about Azure container instance or containerization and Kubernetes services. So let's take a start. Virtual machine scale set. Virtual machine scale sets are an Azure compute resources that you can use to deploy and manage a set of identical VMs or same VMs with all VMs configured the same. Virtual machine scale sets are designed to support true auto scale. No pre-provisioning of VMs is required. For this reason, it's easier to build large-scale services targeting big compute, big data, and containerized workload. As demand goes up, more VMs or more VM instances can be added. As demand goes down, VM instances or VMs can be removed. The process can be manual, automated, or combination of both. It is a great benefit of Microsoft Azure Cloud, and this feature is also available nearly in all the cloud provider organizations. When demand goes up, new virtual machines are automatically added in our network according to the requirement, and when the demand goes down, those newly added virtual machines are automatically removed from our network one by one. Build on your terms large-scale services for batch, big data, and containers workload using Azure Virtual Machine scale sets, which let you to create and manage a group of heterogeneous load-balanced virtual machines or VMs. Increased or decrease the number of VMs automatically in response to demand or based on a schedule you define. Centrally manage, configure, and update thousands of VMs and provide higher availability and security for your application. Virtual machine skill set is a very good feature by using which you can create and deploy thousands of VMs in minutes or even seconds with built-in load balancing and auto scaling based on centralized templates. You can manage and auto scale your VM pool based on customizable metric and consistently control and deploy VM updates. You can also increase the availability of your stateful and stateless applications across availability zones and fault domains at a large scale. You can also choose VM images by using scale set and consumption models that best fit your needs while gaining full control of individual VMs within a scale set. The two most important and game-changing services of Microsoft Azure are Microsoft Azure Container Instance and Microsoft Azure Kubernetes services. Container Instance and Azure Kubernetes services are Azure compute resources that you can use to deploy and manage containers. Containers are lightweight, virtualized application environments. They are designed to be quickly created, scaled out, and stopped dynamically. You can run multiple instances of a containerized application on a single host machine. Containerization, you can say that, is an improved form of your virtual machine. There is a slight difference between a virtual machine and a container. To know the difference between these two, I have also shared a short video today with the heading of difference between container and virtual machine. You must need to watch that video, and it is important to know the difference between container and virtual machine, as somewhere we need a virtual machine to use some services of Azure, and somewhere we think that containerization or container service is better as compared to virtual machine. So to getting the all these benefits, you must need to know the difference between container and virtual machine. Microsoft Azure Container Instance, ACI. By using this service, we can develop different type of apps very fastly and quickly without managing virtual machines or having to learn new tools. It's your application in a container running in the cloud. Run containers without managing the servers. It means that by running your workloads in Azure container instance, you can focus on designing and building your applications instead of managing the infrastructure that runs them. Increase agility with container on demand. Agility means moving fastly and easily. Deploy containers to the cloud with unprecedented simplicity and speed with a single command. Use Azure Container Instance to provision additional compute for demanding workloads whenever you need. For example, with the virtual kubelet, use Azure Container Instance to elastically burst from your Azure Kubernetes service cluster when traffic comes in spikes. Secure application with hypervisor isolation. Gain the security of virtual machines for your container workloads while preserving the efficiency of lightweight containers. ACI provides hypervisor isolation for each container group to ensure containers run in isolation without sharing a kernel. Common users of Azure cluster instance are elastic bursting with Azure Kubernetes service, event-driven application with Azure Logic Apps, and data processing jobs. Elastic bursting with Azure Kubernetes service means ACI provides fast, isolated compute to meet the traffic that comes in spikes without the need to manage any server. For example, Azure Kubernetes services can use the virtual kubelet to provision pods inside the ACI that start in seconds. This enables AKS to run with just enough capacity for your average workload. As you run out of the capacity in AKS cluster, scale out additional pods in ACI without any additional server to be managed. Event-driven application with Azure Logic Apps combines ACI with the ACI Logic App Connectors, Azure queues, and functions to build robust infrastructure that can elastically scale out containers on demand. With Azure Container Instance, you can run complex tasks that are capable of responding to the events. Data processing jobs use Azure Container Instances for data processing, where source data is ingested, processed, and placed in a durable store, such as Azure Blob Storage. By processing the data with ACI rather than the ordinary or statically provisioned virtual machines, you can achieve significant cost saving through Azure per second billing. Azure Kubernetes Services, or AKS, used to deploy and manage containerized application more easily with a fully managed Kubernetes service. Azure Kubernetes Service offers serverless Kubernetes and integrated continuous integration and continuous delivery experience CI/CD and enterprise grade security and governance. AKS unites your development and operation team on a single platform to rapidly build, deliver, and scale applications with confidence. AKS gives us elastic provisioning of capacity without the need to manage the infrastructure and with the ability to add event-driven auto-scaling and trigger through KEDA. It also gives us a faster end-to-end deployment experience or development experience through Visual Studio Code Kubernetes tool, Azure DevOps, and Azure Monitor. It provides most comprehensive authentication and authorization capabilities using Azure Active Directory and dynamic rules enforcement across multiple clusters with Azure policy. Azure gives us availability in more regions than any other cloud service provider. Some common uses of Azure Kubernetes Service AKS are lift and shift to container with AKS, microservices with AKS, secure DevOps for AKS, bursting from AKS with ACI, Azure IoT reference architecture, and data streaming scenario. Lift and shift feature is used to easily migrate existing applications to containers and run them in a fully managed Kubernetes services with AKS. Microservices use AKS to simplify the deployment and management of microservices based architectures. AKS streamline horizontal scaling, self-healing, load balancing, and secret management. Secure DevOps for AKS. Kubernetes and DevOps are better together. Achieve the balance between speed and security and deliver code faster at scale by implementing secure DevOps with Kubernetes on Azure. Bursting from AKS with ACI. Use the AKS virtual node to provision pods inside the ACI that starts in seconds. This enables AKS to run with just enough capacity for your average workload. Azure IoT reference architecture. This reference architecture shows a recommended architecture for IoT applications on Azure using platform as a service components PaaS. Data streaming scenario. Use AKS to easily ingest and process a real-time data stream with millions of data points collected via sensors. Perform fast analysis and computation to develop insights into complex scenarios quickly. That's enough for today, and stay connected for all upcoming videos. Thank you very much.